potential snow closures and like trusting the weatherman and acting on it. Some of our teachers come from pretty far away to teach their classes. So, and the weather is different in Harrisburg than it is in York and in Lancaster. So I'm glad we're here. Eggs and Kegs is this same day next week. So this is the Eggs and Kegs t-shirt. I was beside myself which side to show because there's a really cute, here, little fried egg on the front of it. No, I won't do that. She'll break in 5 pieces. At any rate, it's held at the Springhouse Brewery. Scott can share a little bit more about Springhouse. And it's a fundraiser for our nonprofit, Aim to Empower. Aim to Empower does yoga classes and meditation in companionship with already established community organizations like the Lancaster Rec Center. And we bring the classes to their populations. We've been doing it for a long time. Philomena's taught a lot of those classes. I've taught a lot of those classes. We can always use volunteers for Aim to Empower, and that might look like going along with Philomena to her class and being a volunteer support, or helping us with like fundraisers like the Eggs and Kegs fundraiser. It's $35. That price gets you this t-shirt, also a breakfast buffet at Springhouse at from 10 to 2 next week, and there's beer. What else would you have at Springhouse other than beer with your eggs? Last thing about that you should know is that $35, it actually is a key price because the profit from it ensures one more AIM class. It handles the salaries and all the things for a single class. So know when you buy your Eggs and Kegs ticket, you have sponsored a class for somebody, for a whole group of somebodies. And then last, Italy. Going over the 4th of July. I have a daughter in Italy right now, different part of Italy, and she just sent a picture this morning, and I'm so jealous. But we're going over the 4th of July. We go to a place right outside of Rome by about an hour and a half. It's in Tuscany, right at the corner where all 3 of those areas meet, but specifically it's in Umbria. It's so beautiful. And then we don't go to the usual sites. We go and see things more locally. Still lots of old stuff everywhere in Italy to see. And it's an incredible trip. We've done it twice before. So if you have any questions about it, you can ask me after. I'd love to have you come with me. Okay, let's get started. Child's pose. Child's pose at home. Child's pose here in the studio. Toes together. Bring your knees open and your forehead down to your mat. So make your body really comfortable. And if you want, you can even put your forehead on your block. I think it's really interesting to start just looking at your breath before you even start to do anything about it. So just observe how the breath is flowing right now. And then from there, you could start to add to the quality, lengthen the inhale, lengthen the exhale till they match and they're robust from beginning to end. Once you get that, you can bring the pause in and the constricting of the back of the throat that makes the Ujjayi breath different from your everyday breathing. You'll still feel, and you can look for this as well, how your belly lowers to the floor and then draws back up into your body, or your ribs expand and relax. Just keep putting your attention on whichever feature of your breathing is most interesting to you this morning, and make that where your attention goes through all of the next poses until it just becomes your habit through the rest of the practice. And then inhale and lift your body up into downward facing dog. With your breath flowing, we'll add drishti. So it's right now where you set your gaze. It's a place where you're looking to a point, just a point. And in looking there, with a soft gaze, you have a place to settle your attention. Then look forward, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Get a sense of feeling what you can feel in the back of your body this morning, and then hang down. You may want to sway from side to side. I usually like to take my fingertips to one side and linger there. Right away, I can always feel stuff is going on in my back, and I want it to just soften and get longer. Then come to the center. So you've got the tool on board of your breath and being purposeful about where you set your gaze. The foundation is the third tool that we work to create the whole time. So set your feet a little wider and make them parallel to one another. And keep this discipline in every single pose. It'll change your practice if you know where your feet are in every pose. Then press your feet down into the ground. Come rolling up to standing. Just take your time. Once you're tall, sweep your arms overhead. Look up and stretch up. And then hands into prayer position and pause. Settle your gaze. Set your intention. And let's chant together. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, reach up for the ceiling. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Lift up halfway. High plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and breathe here. Now, if after the first one you start jumping forward and dropping back, I'm going to give you a tool to use to help you to find your core strength more through these sun salutations. Pick up your block, and in this medium setting, place it between your thighs, kind of like halfway between your knees and your hips. And then you'll need to be jumping in these poses. So back here in your downward facing dog with the block set and your feet parallel, take a deep breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, squeeze the block, and jump up to your hands, squeezing the whole way. Inhale, lift up halfway. Forward fold, keep squeezing. Press your feet into the floor and stand up. Look up to the ceiling and stretch, then fold to the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway. Now you'll have to drop with the block to the low plank. Keep squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So it might not be perfect and definitely won't feel like it always feels, and that's okay. If your block is on the skinniest setting, it might be a little easier with it slightly wider on the medium setting. Here we go. Get ready to move. Last breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, squeeze, jump. See if the squeezing helps you land soft. Halfway lift, forward fold. Squeeze the block, stand up. Lift up. You'll really feel your big toes pressing down. Fold. Halfway lift. Keep squeezing. Low plank. Focus on the squeeze. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 2 more. Last one. Bend your knees. Jump. Halfway lift. Good. Fold. One more time. Stand up. Squeeze, stretch, reach. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe right here. 2 more. Last one. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose it into your heels and reach, and take a few breaths here. Feel how your feet are as you have the opportunity to squeeze your block while you hold this pose. It's different than maybe it usually is. Keep pressing your hips back, pressing your big toe down. Feel the core down the basement of the core in your inner thighs working. One more time, breathe in and reach up. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Reach back, grab the block, step your right foot forward and lunge. Just squeeze the block. Warrior one and reach up just for a place to put it. Chaturanga. Take it to the thighs, lower down. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot, step forward. Inhale and just reach up. You could leave it on the floor too. Hands to the floor, hug the block, low push up. So you just have to find how you'll manage it. Upward dog to downward facing dog, and breathe. Now, with or without the block, we're going to practice something a couple of times. When you jump up to your hands, squeezing the block between your thighs makes all the difference in the world. This time as you jump, squeeze and really stretch out into your feet and see if you can jump not just straight forward, but in a halfway lift kind of way. So up and forward. See if you can get your hips over your hands. Give it 5 tries. Squeezing, jumping. So you'll have to let your weight shift into your fingertips. That's the scary and tricky part about inversions. You have to rely on your fingertips. Try that a couple of times, jumping forward. Yeah, a little more shoulders over your fingertips, weight in your fingertips. All the way to the front of your mat. Yeah, you're getting it, Kelly. One more try. Up to the front of your mat with one more try. Then halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose, squeeze, squat, reach up, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, squeeze, chaturanga. Be aware of your feet. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right side warrior one. Do whatever you want to do with the block. Reach up, look up, hands to the floor, block between the thighs, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left side step and lunge. You could leave it sitting on the floor even for the lunges. Down to chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two, and again, we'll give it 5 tries. So the 5 tries are for us to take the leap, squeezing, and land our feet as softly as we can after seeing if we can stack the hips. Give it 5 tries. Jumping forward, step back, jump forward. Each time, see if your shoulders and wrists can warm up a little bit more by moving through them, kind of like oiling the joints of the Tin Man. Take your last one to jump forward, all the way to the front. Inhale, lift up halfway, forward fold. We'll take one more round. So chair pose. Sit back, squeeze and reach, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, low plank. Be aware of your feet. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right side. You could just sit it on the floor for this exchange. Reach up, warrior one, back down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side. Step, reach, inhale, lift up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Keep the block between your thighs, or if you don't have it there, you might want to try it for this. Come out into the high plank, keep squeezing it between your thighs, all the way into the high plank, squeeze, and then side plank. Keep your left hand on the ground, face the right side of your mat, stack your body up, squeeze, and look up to the ceiling if you're ready for that. Now, can you see your feet? If you notice that your heels are turning into one another and your toes are turning out, in that top thigh in particular, can you just roll your thigh on the block and keep your feet parallel to one another? You got it. Pull the pit of your belly in. One more breath. With grace, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. That was too much of an extra requirement. Take a breath in and a breath out. Hug your block, come out to the high plank. Whatever is the opposite of the plank you did last time, go the other way. The right and the left, that's like a lot. Activate your feet. So if the whole thing's hard, yes, you see how that got easier when your feet warmed up? So Jennifer, you got it. Wake up your toes. Get ready for the grace. Kelly, square your feet if you can. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Move the block. Step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. Take your crescent lunge the way you know to do it. Reach up and overhead. You could hold the block if you want to. Deep lunge. Look up and reach up. Now, while you're here, breathe. Put your attention into your legs and see if you can still feel the sensation of how your thighs had to wrap to squeeze the block and the activity of your big toes. One more breath here. Twist. You can keep holding the block and twist if you want, or put it on the floor and breathe. That's it right there. Somehow I oftentimes find that holding and squeezing the block or pressing my palms distinctly together helps me to just collect to my center line. This quality of understanding the center point where the right side of the body meets the left side of the body. One more breath here. Stay and exhale. Inhale right up to the crescent lunge. Open up to warrior two. In the warrior two, lunge down deep. You can sit the block on the ground, grab your strap, put it in your left hand, stretch as high as you can, and then tilt. Once you get tilted, wrap your left arm behind your back and let the strap just hang. Reach through, grab the strap, get your hands as close as you can together, not between the cheeks, outside of the thigh, and then turn and open your chest to the ceiling. The strap should push your hip into the center line of this pose. So just be in the pose now and breathe and feel what you feel. That's it. Pull on the strap. You'll feel it pulls your hip into the pose. That's it, April. Lift your chest. Karen, are you able to lift your chest a little bit more? Yep, a longer stride next time will help. One more breath. Hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward for crescent lunge. If you want, you can grab the block if you like, finding it between the palms and press. Left foot forward, crescent lunge. When you get the quality of center line, it's like the pose locks into place. One more breath. Hands to prayer at the chest and twist. Right elbow to your left knee. Now breathe and press the block. And you'll have to look for it in your body or you'll never notice it. How the pressing and squeezing creates this quality of being stronger by hugging in. Are you starting to feel that in your own body a little bit? One more breath. Crescent lunge, reach up. And then warrior two, open up. Get into your warrior two and then swap your block out for your strap. Strap in the right hand. And then tilt. Get the tilt so you can stretch your body apart. And then right arm behind the back. You likely will have to decompose your alignment by hanging forward to get this grip outside of your thigh, hands as close together as possible. Then deep lunge, and then lift your chest to the ceiling. Let your hip be pulled under you. So a little deeper lunge, and then just keep letting your hip be pulled under and chest lift. Yeah. Feel how your arm presses your front thigh back. Let that happen. Strong lift to the pit of your belly. One more breath. When you're finished the exhale, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take just one breath in, one breath out. Grab your block, put it between your thighs. On this last breath, get ready and jump forward. You need to keep your strap handy. Halfway lift, forward fold. At first, use the block to just get into the chair pose. A few breaths. In fact, with your block squeezing between your thighs, sit and breathe, and maybe just bring your hands to prayer and get the sense of your legs and your hands pressing in. Couple of breaths. And then from here, with the block in your, the strap in your right hand, twist, open up, wrap your right arm behind your back with the strap so it hangs outside of your left hip. Then take the block out, reach through, hold hands around the strap as close as they can be on the outside of your left hip. You might stay here squatting deep, but lifting and turning your chest to the ceiling. Or you might put your eyes on one spot on the floor, really concentrate, put the weight into your right foot, stand up for bird of paradise. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. If you're standing, this pressing back of your thigh and pressing in of your hip, you might feel this whole side of your lower back start to open. See if you can look for that and feel it in your body. All of you birds, maybe even press your heel out and straighten your leg. It might not totally straighten. Give yourself another breath here. And for everyone, forward fold. Maybe the block and your hands in prayer and squat low. Get settled in the center of the pose. It might feel different than it typically feels for you. Give it another breath here. And then the strap for the left hand. Once you have the strap in your hand, it goes your left arm all the way across your lower back, strap hanging outside of your right thigh. With your right arm, reach through between your legs, hold hands on the strap outside of your right thigh. So not here between the cheeks, way out here, but around the thigh. Weight in your left foot, eyes on one spot, come up to standing. Strap still around the back of my hip here. Yep, the block will drop. And breathe. It's not always graceful. Just do what it does. Everybody in the pose and the next breath, can you relax a little bit across the chest and arms? I mean, it's a little tight right now. Then press the legs straight if it will. Lift the chest up. One more breath. For everyone, forward fold, drop your strap and hang. Feet open hip width distance and hook your big toes. Stretch down. Keep your breath flowing. Then move your palms underneath the soles of your feet for gorilla pose. Shake your head out, let your spine become long. And then release your hands. And because we have the opportunity with our block, here's what we'll take. You could take crow pose or goddess squat. Otherwise, the block is in the crease of your left hip while you're folded over. And your thighs should squeeze the block. Right leg in the air as high as it'll go, and handstand, hands on the floor. You'll want to start in a tippy toe. Then bend your left knee, jump, and squeeze that block. Squeeze the block. 5 times. 4. Keep squeezing. Information. And that's the way to come out of it gracefully, the way Paul just did. Tuck your chin and roll if you surprise yourself and you kick too hard. Keep your arms straight. Couple more. For everyone, feet on the floor, forward fold and hang, or downward dog and hang, and take a breath or two. Karen, nice. She's catching some air over there. So forward fold and hang. The reason we teach you the handstands, a couple things. It's the safest inversion, safer than the headstands. And when we teach it to you with one leg bent and one leg straight, you learn to control it. So let's do the other side. Crow posers, you're taking crow pose again. So now the block's in the crease of the right hip. Squeeze it. Tippy toe, left leg in the air. You'll have a good side and a bad side. Keep the top leg straight and just squeeze. Just concentrate on heel to your butt and squeeze the block. Heel to your butt, squeeze the block. Try to keep the top leg straight. You got it. Couple more tries. So it's going to take some jump, some straight arms. Keep the top leg straight. Squeeze, Karen, squeeze that bottom knee. You're going to have that. You're so close. One more time. Squeeze the bottom knee. Squeeze. Right here. Hold on. Pull the hips in. That's it. I'll let you go in a second. Here you go. So Karen said guinea pig. You just want to keep this in because right now it's leaning a little bit and that's hard to hold. So that sense of getting on top of your shoulders is so opening. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. One more time. Jump up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Come rolling up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead. Right side eagle pose. Wrap your arms. Wrap your legs. In this pose, you have a lot of opportunity to be aware of the center line of your body. So while you're here, you can be pressing your forearms against one another, your thighs against one another. So instead of pulling into it, you press out, and that helps you become aware of moving from your center line out. See what you can see in your pose. You probably want to breathe. Step out and switch sides. Sometimes when we're concentrating so much, all the breath goes away. So set the pose up first with breath, drishti, and foundation. Then look to create tapas. It's heat in your body from putting your attention somewhere. Right now we're looking to put our attention on the center line and the quality of from the center line moving out to the periphery. One more breath and step out. Reach up and overhead. We have a strap. We might as well use it. Bring your strap up. Wrap the strap around the ball of your right foot and put this left foot in true north alignment, so heel behind your middle toe. Now, I like to turn my toes out, so guaranteed if I look up and shift my weight, I'll unconsciously just turn it right back out. So keep your foot square, then the strap around the ball of your right foot, and stand tall. So imagine yourself here as like a tin soldier. There's not all this fluidity of your human body. See if as you're standing tall here, you can pull your hip back and your shoulders forward so that you're very square, different from leaning, different from pressing. See if instead you can be drawing your thigh bone in, shoulders forward, and just standing tall. Yeah, April, that was it. That last move right there, you got it. Keep breathing. Jessica, soften your top knee and let your hip get deeper. Yep. Stay with it. Keep on breathing. Yeah, lean forward, chest up. Yes, feel the difference? On this last breath, ease your toes an inch higher till you feel it. And stay right there. Take another breath. Okay, drop the strap, hug your knee. Airplane pose. Open up. You may, in your airplane pose, want to take a moment and press your palms together. Keep your eyes on one spot. Keep your breath flowing. Really press your palms. See what that gives you in your body. Airplane is a pose where we really can default and it just gets a little wild. See if you can collect yourself by pressing your palms. Get really stable in the surface of all four corners of your foot. Once you have that, open your body up, half moon. Breathe here. Now put your attention on your lifting foot. The way you had to put it on your lifting foot when we did those planks. We don't have the block anymore, but we do have the learning. Wake up your lifting foot. If you can see it out of the corner of your eye, look and see, are your toes pointing to the ceiling, down to the floor? Is there a spot right in the middle where they're parallel to the floor? One more breath. Forward fold and hang. Sway from side to side, grab your strap. Come on up to standing, left side. Strap around the ball of your foot and stand tall. Let yourself feel the pose and build it as you feel it. You will find that there's need to soften your knees. Yep. If you could imagine as though the whole back of your body were standing flat against the wall, different from leaning just your shoulders and head into it. So really, for a lot of people, get the sense of your hips going back. Get on top of your standing foot. I see a lot of good moves in the room. I'm going to come check you guys out at home. Keep on breathing. Just feel what you feel in your standing foot. I know you feel stuff in your hamstrings. Don't worry about that. Yep, that's it, Wendy. And Kevin, square your lifted foot, toes straight up to the ceiling if you can, and see how that changes things. And it throws you all the way out. Last breath, toes go a little higher. Stand tall, chest to the street. Scott and Tara, chest to the street. Okay, hug your knee, drop your strap. Airplane pose, palms pressing together for this pose. Once you get stretched out the way you're used to, bring your palms together. In the pressing of your palms, put your attention on your standing foot. Yep, keep doing that, April. Now, I'm not going to change much here. This down. Squeeze against your inner thigh against my, yep. Now press, press. All the periphery of you pressing out as though there's a bubble around you that you're stretching all of your parts toward. Half moon. Do you feel that difference? It's a lot of fire like that. Half moon. In the eagle pose, we got the sense of from the center line moving out. Exaggerate that now. All the way out. Like there's a bubble all around you. Touch your fingers to it, your head, both of your feet. Falling out of it, press further. One more breath. Take the whole thing. And when you're complete, hang. Grab your strap because we have it. Come on up to standing. We'll take one set of dancer's pose. So the dancer pose, different from the standing bow. Bend your knee. Really flex your foot. Really flex your foot so you have a hook for your strap. So bend the knee. Strap behind the back. Flex the foot. I want the strap short. And then I need to have a little space to slide, but I want to slide minimally. So I just get past this point. As little excess strap as possible. Right here, I'm going to square my foot and square my hips a little more. And then move my elbows to the corners of the room. And then elbows overhead. Press chest forward, shin back. You got it. Chest forward. Really good setups all around the room in this. Can't really see the straps at home. That's okay. Take a sigh in this pose. Stay with it. Now press your wrists up to the ceiling and kick up. Just straighten your elbows as much as they will. It might be just 1/4 of an inch. Stay here. Take another sigh. Let the whole pose get soft and come on out. It was really good. Let's do the left side. Bend your left knee. Reach around with your strap. Take your strap behind. Yeah, get your thighs together. Get a sense of your whole standing foot. And then just start from your center line to do the reaching. Yep. You build it as you're ready. Get to settled where you can really concentrate on your standing foot balancing and then balance the whole pose out of that. Feel what's new and interesting in your body in the pose today right now. Active feet, both of them, the top one too. Anytime you need, take a sigh, let the edges soften and discover more space. Then on the next inhale, fill the space up. Drive your hands up to the ceiling. You'll soften your upper back to do it. All right, step out. Drop your strap. We'll take a tree pose. Left foot on the ground, right foot to your left inner thigh. Foot and thigh meet to the center line. Palms meet to the center line and breathe. Keep the 5 toes of the foot on the floor lifted in the air. Keep breathing here and pressing. I love what April's even doing. Try reaching overhead with your palms pressing or keeping your chest here, but keep collecting yourself back in now. Breathe until you can tap into the quality of collecting into your center line, like you're concentrating yourself. 5 toes in the air and feel what you feel. Okay, let's switch sides. Right foot down, left foot up. Keep your breath flowing and your gaze set. So that stuff is just handled. 5 toes in the air, so the foundation's handled. That'll even lift your belly. And then collect into the center line. What is it to be coming from the periphery, from your skin into the center line? Look for the space where your body locks in. Once it locks in, sigh and make your body easy. Stay with it. It's funny how we can, for a flash, tap in and do a thing, and then all of a sudden our mind just takes us out of it. So we're just building that muscle. One more breath. And step out. Come to the front of your mat. Once you're there, sweep your arms overhead and fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward for triangle pose. You're welcome to have your hand on a block behind you if you'd like. I would recommend taking your triangle pose right now with all 10 toes lifting in the air. I usually take my triangle pose with my right fist on my right hip in the back and just work to press that top part of my pelvis into my body so my belly lifts more. See if you can find that. It always makes my back crack, makes my lower back stretch, lets me stretch the long left side of my body. Keep on breathing. When you get this long, lean feeling in the pose, move your hand back. Keep the long, lean feeling, but keep following it and open your chest and drop your head back. You got it. Come on up to standing. Face the long left side of your mat. All the way down, forward fold. Palms on the floor and your handstand hands underneath of you. When you inhale, bend your knees. When you exhale, tippy toe all the way up to the tops of your toes and lean into your fingertips. So you inhale, bend, pull your belly in, and lean your weight. See if your toes drag a little bit across the floor. Give that like 5 or 6 tries. So as you lean, see if your toes will just drag a little forward an inch or so. All the weight in your fingertips. On the very tippy top of your toe, see if when you lean your weight into your fingers, your toes drag. Give it a few more times. On the inhale, bend. On the exhale, lean and drag your toes. Lean and drag your toes. Drag, Jessica. One more try for this. Drag, Kelly. Come on up to standing. Turn to face. It's tricky, but there's tiny little core skills. Face the front of your mat. Standing single leg forward fold. You're welcome to bind your hands or reach with your straight arms and fold. You could walk your fingertips way back and bring your forehead to your knee. Make it a pyramid pose. Breathe. Kevin's using a strap. That's a great tool to let your shoulders open a little differently. Come all the way up to standing and step to the front of the mat. Once you're there, inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, left side triangle. Step your left foot forward. Long, long stride. From the front foot, build the straight leg and the hips moving as back as they can. It's almost like the standing single leg forward fold. And then turn the pose. You could add that you're assisting yourself on the top hip. So it's not here on the side, it's here on the back, like right at the top of your right butt cheek, pushing it back to the back of your mat and lifting your belly opposite. See if you can get that whole right lower back to open up. That's what's available here. One more breath. Come on up to standing. So turn to face the long right side of your mat. And if you felt like you couldn't quite get the toe slide, just step off of your mat. Use your hands on your mat and your feet on the floor behind your mat. So if this is the edge of my mat, I'm just going to put my hands here and have my feet back here. So when you inhale, you can bend your knees. When you exhale, lean into your fingers so much that you come and drag your toes a little bit. Try. It'll happen more easily with your feet off of your mat. There's so much core strength. You've been working. Yes, Philomena. You're getting the idea. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of good work here. Kelly, take your feet off of that mat because you can slide there. Move your hands back. You won't hit back toward Paul, not toward Chris. Yep. Yes, Paul, you scoot off your mat too so you can get the slide because you have so much core strength. You should learn to press. Head down, Tara. Yeah, because when it's up, your ribs aren't coming into this. So it's hollow ribs. Yes, just like that. And you get to your toes more. So your ribs will come in like this. Yes. Couple more tries. How's it going at home? Yes, Karen. Keep going, April. You're right there. Lean, lean, lean. Pull your belly in. There's where the slide comes from. Yes, everybody's getting it. Okay, one more time. Pull your belly in, lean, slide. Yes. Okay, come on up to standing. I know it's little, but it's big, right? Turn to face the front of your mat, standing single leg forward fold, either hands bound or holding the strap, or fold, and take your fingers in front of you for pyramid pose. Or elephant, sorry. Breathe. One more breath here. Come on up to standing and step to the front of your mat at the front. Sweep your arms overhead and forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Get stretched back, then come to your high plank. Lower down to your belly on the mat. One set of locust pose. Interlace your hands behind your back. Press all 10 toenails into the mat and then get long and lift up. You got it. You don't have to lift high. Press your 10 toenails down. You could do it like that or point your toes all the way down. Yep, and let the back of your pelvis be broad. Contrary to popular belief, automatically I know your abdominals will press down into the mat, but instead can you gather them up into your body? Different from pressing them down into the mat. One more breath. Come on down. Grab your strap and bend your knees. Reach the strap around behind your back with your bent knees and flexed ankles, because you need a hook. Put them around your ankles. Now, you could be squeezing your block between your knees. Then kick up a little bit, whatever it takes, and letting out length to bring your elbows forward, but try to be stingy about that. Don't let too much go. And get settled. This will be like a lot if you've never done it right here. Then it gets a little easier. Elbows out to the corner, hands together, and kick up. Remember, the legs are the strength here. That's it, Paul. You're long enough. Don't let it get any longer. Elbows to your waist, and then slide them along the mat. It's going to be weird here. Yeah, they go along the mat. It's like a chicken wing, and they come this way. That's it. Hands together. You got it. If you can, Scott, hands together. Yep. Knees a little closer. Come on down. Wave your feet from side to side. Isn't that the best? The best one. Come to upward facing dog and move to downward facing dog. Once you've hit the downward dog, stretch back, then jump through, sit down, and roll onto your back. Once you're on your back, it's bridge pose. Bridge pose. In the bridge, press down, rise up with your hips. We've learned a lot about coming into the center line. One way you can tap into that, obviously, is your thighs. We've learned about how to find the center line by coming in, and we've looked at it by pressing away. A different way you could use your strap here, it has to be buckled and make a loop. The buckling seems to be so tricky. It goes through the back slot and through the front slot. Not all the straps grip very well. It's just the way they're manufactured. And you need about a hip width loop. Then you can put the loop over your thighs. Make it snug enough that you can press into your big toes, but press out with your thighs. You can come on down. Set your loops up if you need to set them up. So buckle in your strap, just about 2 inches above your knees, pretty snug, so I can press out in it, but I stay hip width distance. And then opposite, I want to press my big toes down. And then press up into the bridge, and I'll give you something to look for in your body. Anybody having trouble with your strap loop? Got a nice snug loop? Okay. Come on up. Can you step through the strap, Chris? It would. It would, but I like the creativity. How are you doing with that buckle, Kevin? Getting it? Wendy's got it. I know it's tricky. It seems so simple, these buckles, but they have to grip. Okay, if your strap's too much, it's like making your knees go way out. Tighten it. You can hold the tail of the strap like Scott's doing to keep it tight if your strap won't behave. Now stay in your bridge pose and look for something. Feel how in your thighs there's a spiraling kind of outward into the strap, and then from the strap through your knees down to your big toes, there's a spiraling in. See if you can feel that, the press out of your thighs, but the movement in down to the arch of the foot. Can you feel that in your body? Keep it. Fingertips to the ceiling, flex your wrists, set up for the wheel, but keep your legs active. Spiraling inward in the thighs to the strap, go up into your wheel. Or sorry, your thighs go out into the strap while your big toes go into the floor. Do you feel that opposite weird difference? Into the floor with your big toes. Come on down, knees side to side. We're only going to do one more of those. Just like a bonus day. Set up your strap. Do the bridge first. Get the attention of your legs. You've got the press out, but the roll in. Once that's there, maybe holding your 10 toes in the air will help. Move up into the bridge. And from the bridge to the wheel. Press down, rise up. Thighs have this chance to move wide in the strap, but then down through your shins into your big toe, spiral in and press. Yeah, Wendy, press into your toes. Kevin, I see the knees in the strap working well. Press into your toes. Feel what you can feel up there, and then come on down. You can move the strap out of the way, Supta Baddha Konasana. I have some fun planned for you next. This is going to be so good. Get your rest. Hug your knees into your chest and come up to a sitting position. Once you sit up, you can put your feet on the floor and then find your block and sit it up tall, right about there-ish. Like it's right at my big toe. Can you see at home? At home, they can only really see if we're this close. Okay, now hands behind you. You can sit them so their fingers point out. It's probably going to be the best. And then here's what we're doing first. So it's going to be feet out around the block and up. So it's these V sit-ups. There you go, 10 of those. 9, 8, that's it, 7, keep the V, 6, 5, 4, you got it, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees in, come forward into your forearm plank. The block can be at your hips. Don't touch it. And then you're dipping. 1, around the block. 2, keep going. 3, 4, 5, dip and touch. See if you can touch. That's it. Keep on going. Get a feel for it. Up and down. Touch the floor. Go up over the block. Touch the floor. You're doing a beautiful job. See if instead of getting kind of downward doggish in this, you can stay plank. So chest forward. If you feel like your chest coming to your knees, move it to your hands and try a couple more. You might feel the whole side of your leg on the ground. So much fun. Okay, onto your knees. Stretch back into child's pose. Don't move your block. Swing around on your seat. Put your feet on one side of your block. Lean back on your hands. So they're supportive, maybe hands pushing out. Tall body, and up to the V, and over, and up, and over, up, and over. So when you come up, really come up, and move out. Up, and move out. Up, and move out. I know your feet, who knew they were so freaking heavy? Up in the center and out. That's it. You got it. Modify as you need to. We'll go for 10. Karen modified by shortening her block. 9, that's one way. Softness to your knees is another. 7, you got it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Isn't that great? Do you want one more or is that good? One more. One more exercise. Okay, so for this one, we'll just, this one we're staying in our V and it's one leg over. So it's a rainbow. One leg over. Or you could do around the block. Just try that one on. So back and front as you can with your body. You know, the first time I ever had to do those ropes in a gym, I thought I was being like electrified, like my whole body had never worked that way. My core was like, whoa, what's going on? And this has the quality of that. That's why it's the last one. Okay, last thing, hug your knees into your chest. How'd you like that, Kevin? Onto the floor. Since I can't see you laying here, I'm just gonna assume you gave me a thumbs up. Stretch. How does your core feel? Nice, alive, warm. You know where it is? We've gotten your core today all the way from the arch of your feet, all the way up through your inner thighs and into the obvious places of your abs. Hug your knees into your chest. Come all the way up. Downward facing dog. Right side pigeon. You're like, whoa, something we know, thank goodness. Isn't it so nice to be practicing and have this beautiful snow falling, not laying on the ground? Well, it's laying on the grass. Now feel what you can feel in your body here, and if there's a variation that you've been interested in lately, take the variation. There are a million variations of this pose. One variation is to do what we always say don't do, which is take your right knee out to the side. We never say to do that. Gets a little weird from here. Then you'd turn to the other side. At first, it might just be your elbow and your hands are in prayer. Maybe later your foot is on your shoulder, twisting. That's an option. That's it, Tara. Do you catch that option at home? It's like your foot's in the center line instead of the middle of your shin now. Your knee's out there, and then you twist, brace your elbow against your foot, turn. Maybe your head is resting on your block. Right, like there. Let's move to the other side. Feel how your hips feel different one from the other, and then switch. Left side pigeon. It's always so interesting to discover how one side of your body is completely different from the other. So nice to have all of you here together on a Saturday morning so early. Might be tough to get here, but then you have the best rest of the day ahead. So you're so ready, like your body balanced, your mind settled, blood flowing. One more breath here. Then downward facing dog. Once you're in the downward facing dog, you have a couple of options. It could be an option with your looped up straps. You can bring your knees to the floor. Or the option could be with using your block. I think you're going to like this with the strap. You need essentially the same loop you had earlier, and you'd put your arms in the loop now. Make sure the buckle's not on your arm. That'll hurt after a while. So, and there are no twists in your strap. If the twist of the strap is against your skin, that's also going to hurt as you use this. So once you have this set up, put your forearms on the ground. Now you could put your block here between your thumbs like this, or you could save the block. Might be a lot of maneuvering for you for between your belly and your thigh. Once you get this forearm balance space set up, come into a downward facing dog and walk into your fingertips. Set your gaze. This might be enough for some. A next step is right heel to your butt. That may be enough for some. Maybe knee to the ceiling, that might be enough. Bend the bottom knee, hop and squeeze in, hop and squeeze in. I think you'll feel most comfortable with your top knee bent. Really decidedly bent. Chris is like, this can't be happening. So it's so weird, right? I've got my arms, the block's deep in this hip crease, forearms on the ground. I'm going to bend the top knee, but really activate my toes. Then I'm jumping, heel into my butt, and squeeze. If you're squeezing, you won't roll over. If you do, tuck your chin. So Karen got there before I could get the words out. If you start to roll, tuck your chin and let it happen. You got it. Nice, Scott. So Paul, let your ribs get on. Tuck your chin, Karen. It's a little harder when your arms are bound. So Paul, bring your ribs in on top of your shoulders. You too, Kelly. So when you're doing handstand work, when we have the back in this dog tail stretch, like the cow, you can't get upside down. Your body needs to have a little more hollow, like a cat stretch. So just try it a couple more times. You can remove the strap if you want to. That's what stopped your roll. And see if you can get the cat body. So I'm here. I already want my cat body. I have to really be using this core we've worked on. And jump, knee in, jump, knee in. See if you can experience the rocking in your shoulders. So your head doesn't go on the ground for this. Yeah, that'll be what's tricky. Keep trying. You're getting it, though. So it's a push down and a hug, and you're just looking at one spot on the floor. Push down and a hug. Yes, there's a lot of good action here. You can walk your feet in as close as they go. Yeah, awesome. Perfect. Couple more tries. And then child's pose. I know, it's a lot of work like that. Yes, Chris. Nice. Tuck your chin if you start rolling. Wendy, that's nice, but keep the top leg really powerful and in control, whether it's bent or straight, and then the bottom knee goes into your chest. And for everybody, child's pose. Now I know your head is currently at the end where in Shavasana your feet typically are. Come from the child's pose and just roll onto your back. You can leave your head at the end of the mat where it is. Once you get there, hug your knees into your chest. Even bring your forehead to your knees. And then stretch your body out long into Shavasana. In the studio, you've got an eye towel. You're welcome to use that. Yeah, that's it. So we moved a lot today. We moved in new ways and all the way up through to Shavasana. So that doesn't break the yoga rules. We didn't have to spend the last half an hour laying around on the mat. We're allowed to move and let your body be still now. As a contrast to the movement, and let all the amazing work you do settle in. Without adding all the physicality of squeezing in or pressing out, while you breathe, just become aware of the center line of your body. There's nothing to do about it. Just see if you can be aware of it. It's just the space where the right side of your body meets the left side of your body. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Another breath to squeeze your fingers and your toes, or maybe roll your head from side to side. And then knees into your chest and roll to your side. Here on your side, tap into your center line. Just be aware of the right side of your body and where it meets the left side of your body. Come up to sitting. Make yourself comfortable and face any direction. Settle in here. Maybe palms together, just gentle now. Breath easy. And feel here what you feel in your body, whatever the experience is. Set an intention for the rest of your day. And then one more time, let's chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumbs to your forehead center and pause for a moment of gratitude. Gratitude and acknowledgement of yourself for taking a risk and trying new things. And then to the others in the class, because without each one of you, it wouldn't have been the same. Thanks for practicing with me. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining from home. It's a pleasure to be able to play with all of you this morning. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Have a great rest of your snowy day. See you at home. Any questions about eggs and kegs or Italy? Happy to talk with you about that. Bye, Kevin. Bye, Wendy. See you.